eXp Realty,
Yep.
what tools did the Realty give you to allow you to grow your team that fast in just 2 years?
Right. All right. My favorite topic. No, but
Really?
well, yes, but because it has, it might sound kind of cliche or it doesn't sound kind of cheesy, but eXp Realty, it has kind of, because of the system that's helped me set up, it's really changed the trajectory of my life. I obviously made the decision to go into real estate, but it was this opportunity that kind of really propelled me to go forward versus me staying in a different direction, essentially. But, but in terms of the tools that they're able to offer me, so one of the things that we do is that eXp Realty has a, like I was saying, a really cool team building model built in place. So it's the revenue share model. If you haven't heard of it, maybe in the real estate space, it's very similar to the Keller Williams. It's actually based directly off of the Keller Williams profit sharing model. And if you're not familiar with that, it's very similar to traditional network marketing models where you're able to sponsor another salesperson to the company and you're able to earn a portion of the commission paid to you. So the way we're able to do that is from the company itself. So the company, we're a cloud-based company, and we don't have any operating expenses essentially aside from when an agent closes a transaction, which is crazy to think about because I just got back from their shareholders event, just last week, and we're the only real estate company in the world right now that has no debt. So we don't like at the size that we're operating on. We actually have no operating debt, which is crazy to think about, but it makes sense because
Like,
we're
what
completely
size are you
cloud.
at right now?
Yeah, so we're operational in all 50 states in the U.S. and 20 different countries as well around the world, and that amounts up to 83,000 agents total. So we're a global brand,
Like, that's a lot of agents.
and
Yeah.
right. So I mean, yeah, for that many agents, we are able to operate without any debt and very low operating expenses. So that's why the company is able to essentially offer us the value at a very low price. So one of the key things for me is that I can now go out there and build a team of agents without having to have an office. I don't have to provide the training. I don't have to provide the tools and the resources and the systems. And I don't have to hold up any of the legal and liability side of things. So that's one of the coolest things about the company is that you can essentially go out there and build your own brokerage within this system, but the company is able to provide all the tools on your behalf without you having to spend that money up front as an investment, if that makes sense. So
So
one of the things
basically,
that we
what you
yeah.
do is when you invite people, because you're the one who will share to them about how it works, right? And then
Yes.
once the agent says, "Okay, I'm in," what do I need to do first? Because that's the most critical part. When the
Hmm.
agent first joins the realty, they have to sell as fast as possible in order to keep that fire burning, in order to keep them
Yeah.
excited. So, what's the next step once the agent is in?
Right. Yeah. So we have what we have is for new agents is that as a company, we have a new agent mentorship program. So we actually assign a brand new agent to somebody who's experienced in the business, just to make sure that they have their everything in place and they have somebody to talk to, who isn't so they're not feeling overwhelmed at the beginning. So
So
that's
it's
one
not
of the
it's not
things
gonna
that
be
we
you,
actually.
the team leader. I
Right.
mean
Yeah.
the recruiter. So it's not
Right.
gonna
It's going to
be.
be
Oh, so it's you who will be assisting
no.
them.
No, it's actually somebody else. So it's somebody else that's completely local to them. So this is somebody local in their market that they get assigned to them to work with on their first three transactions. So that's one of the things that they get help with as a brand new agent. And then what we do on our side is that we help them plug into the systems and the training. So in the very beginning, like within the first, really before they even onboard, we get a good grasp of what their goals are and what they're comfortable doing and they're not comfortable doing. So one of the things we're really big on is mindset because we understand that whatever strategy that you use, as long as you're able to commit to it long enough, it's going to work. Obviously some strategies are going to be better than others, but if you're not willing to commit to a certain strategy. So one of the things we say is that if you don't work, then nothing else works, but if you work, then whatever you choose to do will work in the long run. So we really implement that a lot, but we get we get them plugged in into our systems pretty fast. So we have about 80 hours of training in the cloud for them to attend, and then we make sure that they pick out the ones that they're willing to commit to long term. So have an agent who's maybe interested more in the door knocking side, then we make sure they're plugging into that very quickly. We're helping them on that end. We have an agent who's more interested in social media, then that's a different direction that they have to go in
So
as
there
well.
are so many trainings that are available for new agents. And then basically just need to choose what they want to focus on.
Yes, that's exactly it. So yeah, we have like I said, 80 hours of training a week, taught by some of the top agents in the entire country.
So it's
So
still
it's really up to them.
under eXp Realty, or you outsource your training videos?
No, all the trainings that we do is in house. So it's done by the top agents of the company. So that's one of the other cool things that we have, is because they're agent owners. They're actually incentivized to coach other agents in the company so that the entire ownership stake in the company rises to the whole. So, and because our top agents are actually the ones that hold big positions of eXp stock through our stock awards system, they're called icon agents. So what they're able to do is that they're able to earn their entire cap back. So they pay a cap into the company, but if they sell enough houses, they earn their entire cap back in stock awards. So those are our top agents, and then they're the ones teaching the classes. So like I said, they're going to be specializing in different areas, and it's just really up to the new agent themselves to choose which ones that they're more gravitating towards, essentially.
Like for example, if one agent wants to focus on condominiums or housing or raw land, so there's
Yeah.
an icon or a mentor that they can tap into to train them, or like the videos of that person. They can watch the videos so that they can move forward with whatever they're interested in. Because real estate is very diverse, right? And
Right.
usually, like there are some agents who want to focus on like specific areas, like maybe luxury market or versus
Right.
the more affordable market.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's it. Yep, that's exactly it. Is that we all because there's so many icon agents at the company, they're all going to be specializing in different areas. And one of the coolest things that the way that we do our training is that the icon agents are actually teaching it live inside of a cloud-based training system. So it's very similar. It's hard to describe, but it's the metaverse of real estate, if you will. And they're actually teaching the classes live. So it's actually very interactive for the new agents. They're able to ask questions almost as they were in there in person. And it's definitely more interactive than Zoom, where there could just be a lot of people, and it would be very hard for somebody to maybe voice an opinion or ask a specific question than it would be in that kind of setting as well. So yes, definitely a lot of different trainings to choose from, all the way, like you said, from the luxury market to more affordable housing to the investing market as well.
Since you mentioned that you also have branches in other countries, like how does the trainings work there? Because every market is different.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we have with our training, is that it's broken up into two different categories. Is that one of the categories is overall skill set training, right? So those are taught by the top agents of the company. They're overlapping skill sets. So like somebody wanted to teach, social media, how to get yourself out there on using video. It's pretty much, very similar concepts. Doesn't matter what place you're in the world, right? Might be a little bit different, but very similar in concept for that specific topic. And we do have local trainings as well. So these are very specific. We have them for each state, each Canadian province, and then each country as well. So those are taught by specific trainers that we have on our agent staff in that country specifically, just to make sure that agent in that area is getting that local support as well. So like you're saying, real estate can be a lot different in different areas. So that's why we have that in place as well, is that just to make sure all the agents are in compliance with local laws, and making sure that all the agents are doing the things that essentially that are relevant to their market and their local region as well.
Do you have branches in Asia as well, or in Europe, aside from Canada and the US?
Yeah, we do. So one of our biggest markets right now is actually in India. We're very popular in India, believe it or
Really?
not.
So
Yes.
how does that work? Like if an Indian local wants to set up an EXP branch. Oh no, there's no physical office, right? So
Right.
everything will just be online. So how will that work? Like there's an Indian local who wants to become a sales agent of EXP. So what does he
Yeah.
need to do?
Right. Yeah. So it's very similar to anybody else who, are in a US or a different country as well. It's almost the same process as me. So they will need to sign up with a sponsor, and that sponsor can be anybody at EXP anywhere in the world. So it's not confined locally to India. And that's one of the coolest things. So is that we're able to build our teams outside of our local geographic areas into other countries, and then we're able to collaborate that way as well. So they will sign up, and whoever is the person that essentially was most influential for them to join the company, they will name them as their sponsor. That's the person and the team that they'll get to work with. And then there'll be an agent at the company, in India, and then they can choose whether to work from home or they can choose to work in our in a shared office space, which we have a working relationship with Regis, which is a shared office space that's available in certain countries around the world. So it's up to them, but it's really that simple. Is that you would just sign up, you would pick a sponsor, and then just move on with the process as well. So and then you would set up all the things that you would in that country essentially as an agent, whatever is required of you.
So you will that agent need, for example, in of course in the US you have all the permits and licensing and stuff. So in
Yes.
India, even if you set up like an online realty, they would still need to apply for all the permits and licensing to practice under
Yes. So
EXP.
that Right. So that's one of the things that we have left to the country specifically. So what that means is that we're just a brokerage. We don't change the laws of a country's real estate practices. So whatever that country is required of an agent to work with a brokerage, we're gonna have to require it. So like
So it's
for
up to
example,
the
like
agent to sort it out.
yes, it's up to the agent. So like yeah, so like an example, like in Portugal, you would need a real estate license, very similar to in the U.S. Same thing. You would need a salesperson's license, and then you would be able to work with the brokerage. Then that's how that works in Portugal. In India, you don't need a license. Anybody can just practice real estate. So
Really?
there's
There's no
registration.
licensing there?
Yeah, there's no licensing there. So
That's
anybody can just
amazing.
right. Yeah. There's a couple of countries like that. India is one, and then Mexico, I believe, is another one. And that's why we've been able to grow so fast. Is now that we're removing that, because in that kind of space where what happens is that a lot of agents are competing with big brands and they're starting from scratch. They don't necessarily have a lot to work with. But now that we've come in, we're able to provide the systems from day one. To an individual, they're now able to partner with this system, and they're able to compete with some of the bigger brands who are more established as well. But they don't have to invest upfront the money to get the office, to get the agents, and get the marketing as well. So that's why we've been popular in some of these other countries as well, with a lot of ambitious people, but they might not have the capital to start up on to compete with some of the bigger brands.
Yeah, being a startup is really very challenging. Like you have to have a lot of
Yeah.
resources and experience and spend a lot of time and effort to start up something.